a very, very practical thing. Today, quickly, I just want to talk about real estate. I know that a lot of people are excited by the word real estate and what it brings, but no one really goes into the details of what real estate is. So for me, in my own simple language, simple terms, real estate, I'm just talking about investing in properties or in houses. Now, when you invest in properties, there are a few key things that one must look at. And again, this is based on my own experiences. Firstly, where are you buying? And now, that sounds very simple, but it's very important. You have to try and buy in a place that you're really familiar with. And it's just like any other business. If you're going to buy stocks, for example, you have to be familiar with the company that you're trying to buy. Who's managing it, and are they good managers? And who sits on the board? Are they good people? Do they have direction? Where else have they been? So that's one. So it's the same thing when you're buying a house or a property. You have to understand the neighborhood in which you're buying. Is it a safe neighborhood? Do people like staying there? Are you going to be able to stay there? If for investment, is it a good investment place where people actually would want to rent from you? So for me, knowing where you want to buy, that's very important. That for me is always an important thing. Secondly, who to buy from. Now, you always want to buy a house that is undervalued. That's my strategy. I never buy a house that is the actual price or that is valued higher. And I think it's logical. Why would you want to buy something that's not the right price? Or if it's let's say $100, if the house is priced at $100 but its value is actually $80, why would you want to buy that? I want to buy a house that is actually, the owner wants $100 of it, but the actual true value of it is $150. So you have to buy a house that is undervalued. In other words, what the person is willing to take from it is less than its actual value. Now, how do you do that? There's literature that always talks about this. You have to look for motivated sellers, right? And don't be a motivated buyer. You must look for motivated sellers. Now, what does that mean? You have to look for someone who really wants to sell the property for various reasons. Maybe someone wants to go into retirement and they really want this money now, or someone really wants to relocate and they really have to sell this house and they want to do it quickly. Those people are willing to negotiate. Now, if you then go to someone who has nothing to lose, they are not really pushed to sell this house, most likely you're going to get a house that's overpriced and it's not good for you. So for me, that's very, very important. Now, the third thing that I look at is how then do I need to finance this? Depending on the country where you're in, most first world countries, you can go via the bank. In South Africa, you also can go via the bank. But I also did know that there are a lot of places, it's very difficult to go via the bank. The terms are not favorable, Zimbabwe being one of them. South Africa is a bit okayish. If you're going to buy in Japan and places like that, obviously the interest rate they're sometimes 1%. So, it's things like that you have to look for. So, like I said, the third point is on the financing. How do you plan on financing this? It's always advisable to get finance partly from the bank for simple reason that anytime you go via a financial institution, you can always access that money at some point in your life for whatever business that you want to do. So let's say the house is $100 US, and I say to the bank, may you please lend me $50 US, not borrow. You don't say, may you please borrow me. You say, may you please lend me. So they lend you at any point in your life when you can always access the extra money that's in that house. Unlike if you pay $100 US from your own pocket, you can't access that money ever in your life unless if you sell the house. If the bank lends you money, you can always go back to the bank and say, listen, I know that I've paid you back for the past 5 years. Can I get that money back? And it's an easy process. And you can you can easily do that and, you know, purchase something else and, you know, that kind of stuff. And you can literally grow your portfolio easier in that kind of way. So for me, those are the three things that I just wanted to talk about today. Please let me know what you think, and any other thing that you want to discuss in terms of how would one buy a property, or how would one buy a house, or how would one build a portfolio. In the next video, what I'm going to talk about is how would one actually build a portfolio from having one property to having multiple properties. It sounds difficult, but it's not as difficult as it may seem. Thanks, and have a lovely day.